Hey everybody, welcome to Painting Happy Little Minis. I'm Rick.
Oh, and I'm Dave.
We don't have a third today.
No, we don't.
We don't have a third today. It was sad in my heart.
It's okay, it's just you and me.
It's good, we're good. I'd like to say hi to Steve and Carl, who are already in the chat.
Woohoo!
And
Hey, Steve.
James and Chris, and we have a lot of Chris's in our chat.
All the Chris's.
All the Chris's are here.
Yep.
So we thought we'd do something a little different today.
Yep.
Dave is the master baser. So we're gonna base some minis.
Yeah, we're going to base some minis. We're going to talk about basing and that kind of thing. Yeah, when we were talking about it last week, you said you wanted to do something with the board game minis, with the hate minis that we've done, but you didn't want to do just the paint them black,
right?
Which is my go-to for board game minis,
right?
Which is cool. But my guy here that I finished painting up this morning is obviously has a lot of skulls on him already.
Yes.
But your guy doesn't have anywhere near as many skulls.
No, I have like 6 or 7 total.
Yeah. So I thought we should add some more skulls to it.
Yes.
And you went out and got the wonderful box of skulls from Games Workshop.
Yes, and it is wonderful.
Which has 340 plastic skulls.
I don't know if it's going to be enough for this one miniature.
So they're all on sprues. Loads and loads and loads of skulls. So it is super cool. There's a whole bunch of loads and loads and loads of human skulls, of course. There are Skaven skulls. Skaven are the rat men. There are avian skulls. There are gene stealer skulls. There are orc skulls. There are Kroot skulls.
What's this one?
That's I'm not sure what that one is, but it's pretty awesome, isn't it?
I do like it.
It's look at the number of ocular cavities on there. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
So we're going to show this under the closed cam just quickly. We're talking about. Oh, there we go. We're talking about this one here.
Yeah.
So loads and loads of cool ocular cavities. The one that the ones that I like and sort of amuse me the most are the demon skulls. So we've got a couple of sort of bloodletter demon skulls, and there's a plague bearer skull there. Oh, sorry. There we go. Nice. So the funny thing about those is, of course, that they're demons, and in the Warhammer, so the demons, they're kind of ethereal, and they it takes quite a bit to get them to manifest on the material plane, essentially.
Right.
But yeah, when they die, they kind of disappear.
So how do they get the skulls?
But they leave the skulls. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. So whether it's like an artist rendition, or something like that,
taking artistic liberty on that.
Yeah. Having said all that, they do look really cool.
So I agree.
Excellent. So we've got those. We've got the skulls. And I figured that as we're going through, and you've got your enormous pile of skulls that you've clipped off there.
Yep.
I'm going to hand you a sharp knife. You trim those up, trim all the little bits off.
All right.
Are you going to be able to? Those skulls are tiny.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, cool.
No problem.
But yeah, so I thought I'd bring in a whole bunch of other bits and pieces and show some basing that I've already done on a bunch of my models.
Right.
And talk about that sort of
stuff.
I like that. We probably have quite a few people in the chat already who have done their own basing for wargaming miniatures and that kind of thing. But I expect we've probably got some people who haven't done any basing yet.
Yeah.
So
in the chat, speaking of which, over on Twitch and YouTube, we've got Demon Halt, and looks like Meninga.
Meninga 2, Jacob Funk, Jack Hardy.
So everybody's saying, afternoon, lads. I'm working on that big Lolth mini. She was a pain to glue.
Yep.
Skulls for the Skull Throne. Yes.
Yours. And Meninga says, looks like a nid. So
a nid.
So a Tyranid. You're probably right about that being a Tyranid skull. It's a pretty good possibility. But yeah, super impressive though.
Steve says he's basing a mini right now.
Oh, cool.
And Byron wants to know where you got your shirt.
I think I got this online somewhere. possibly T-Fury or something like that.
Okay, cool.
The shirt, I had to wear a shirt with a skull on it
Of course.
because we were doing skulls.
Yeah.
But funny story, about 5 years ago, whenever my oldest daughter, Emily, drew a picture of our family, I'd be there. I'd be the one wearing a tie.
Okay.
And so I said to her, "Who's that?" And she'd go, "That's you, Daddy." And I say, "When was the last time you saw me wearing a tie?" And she's like, I said, "I don't wear ties." And she goes, "Okay." And so from then on, I'm the guy in the picture wearing, like, it's a T-shirt with a skull on it. And when she first started drawing those, I was like, "Well, I don't have a..." Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
3/4 of my T-shirts have skulls on them.
James says, "What's shaking?" Drop it and say hi. Then I got the heavy lifting to do. That's Chris Cox. Chris Corker says hello.
Hello.
Mini Painting Studio says, "Wow, talking about masturbation on stream. Wow, Dad."
Yeah, I know. When you said it, it was just like, what?
So embarrassing.
Yeah.
Waiting for that base to drop. Rad Algren. I love that guy's name.
Right.
Hi guys, I love that name. Wet
Cool.
Go Brushes.
Yep.
Josh says, look at the number of ocular cavities.
I'm telling you.
It's the perfect.
Cool. So, first thing base-wise I'm going to talk about is that there are a number of companies that make pre-textured bases or things that can help you create pre-textured bases.
Okay.
So, example of that, I'm going to probably run a whole bunch of stuff under the close cam here so we can get an idea. This is a pair of resin bases, one with a straight edge, or like beveled edge, like is used by Games Workshop and Corvus Belli,
Okay.
that kind of thing. And one has a round lipped edge. You typically see on like privateer press models or dark age models, that kind of thing. But lots of wonderful screaming faces.
Yeah, that is the thing of nightmares.
It is pretty much a nightmare thing. So I think these bases would be awesome for some Kingdom Death.
Oh, yes.
The Kingdom Death monster sort of land there walking around on a plane of stone faces.
Okay.
So you could paint most of these stone with the occasional one.
Actually screaming.
Actually
like
fleshy and screaming.
Yes.
So, yep, there's a couple of those I found on my desk today. Some other pre-textured kinds of bases. There's this cool base, which is from the Tech Deck range by Dragonforge Designs.
All right.
I use a lot of these for my
Mechs.
40K stuff. Yeah, for mechs and my Adeptus Mechanicus and a few other armies.
Those are slick.
Look really nice. So they and with the pre-textured bases, I usually end up painting these separate to the model
Okay.
because you can do lots of great dry brushing and not worry about getting silvers and that sort of thing up onto the feet. But yeah, and because these are solid resin bases, you can drill into them to put magnets in if you're using a sort of magnetic carrying tray or something.
Nice.
But you can also pin your models into them really well. So these are cool.
Those are cool.
It looks like we have a question from Twitch.
Oh,
Okay. Question. It looks like you didn't prime the Tyrant Mini. Did the paint take okay? No, it was primed.
it was primed. Yeah, Rick primed it with some Corax White
Corax White.
from GW. So yeah, it was pre-primed. Oh, sorry, it was primed by Rick.
He's paranoid about ruining my hate minis.
Right.
No, it was primed. Just
Yep.
white primer.
Yeah, and then we used lots of washes on them. So definitely cool. Mike G said, "Hey all, working on flesh eaters from the Carrion Empires, worried on how I'm going to glue all those little feet to bases." It's a legitimate concern.
Yeah.
There's some very tiny points there, but you can pin them. So if you use a small pin vise drill, drill into the feet, and then drill into the base, a little piece of paper clip.
Nice.
Definitely good stuff. But yeah, I brought these other ones here. from 2 different sources. So these ones here are from Dragon Forge, from that same range as the large base I just showed. You can see them painted up basically the same way. The other small ones here, the 25 mil bases, are Necromunda bases. So they come with Necromunda gangs from
Okay.
Games Workshop. So they're very cool. Again, they've got that sort of tech kind of look to them. And these ones here are 32 millimeter plastic bases, also from Games Workshop. But they're not Necromunda bases, they're one of their larger production runs. So the detail's a little bit softer, but as you can see, once you paint them all up,
Yeah.
they all fit together really well. I'm going to be using some of these under my Gene Stealer cult.
Oh, nice. For your
Models.
kill team?
For my army.
Oh,
yeah.
for your army? Okay.
Yep. Taking it beyond kill team, going all the way into army. So, and an example. So this is an example of my a knight armiger.
Yeah, that's nice.
Ooh, thank you, Leona. On one of those bases.
One in Chiro says, "What's up, folks? Oh man, I love basing. It's one of the best parts of mini building."
So,
That looks really
there we
good.
go. And I'm going to show, what else we got? One other pre-built base, or pre sort of textured base. This is on a guy from Infamy Miniatures,
Okay.
kind of a Victorian steampunk
Okay.
kind of feel. I don't know if you can catch get the light on there. It's like a cobblestone base, and he's standing up on the sidewalk, up on the curb.
I like the newspaper.
Yeah, that was a. If I hadn't put that on there, there just would have been a whole bunch of like cobblestones
Right.
down in front of him, which would have looked a little bit dull. But yeah, so I created a little newspaper piece, and the headline of which is "The Devil of the Docklands,"
Okay.
and the little piece of artwork is this guy, like his concept art
Right.
turned into like. So
And you created that piece?
yeah, I put together that little the little newspaper thing.
This guy. That's awesome.
It has a bit more of a modern newspaper feel than a Victorian
Sure.
newspaper feel, but
Instead of the street barking, "Hey,
yeah.
come
Well,
get your paper. 5 pence."
But yeah, so you can do lots of cool things with the pre-textured bases. There are companies around. One of them that I'm thinking of at the moment. I'm just going to mess around with my hands here for a sec. Is Green Stuff World.
Okay.
Green Stuff World makes a series of rollers. They're like rolling pins that have texture on them. So you can mix up some green stuff, push it, put it flat somewhere.
Okay.
Make sure you've got plenty of sort of moisture underneath it, so it's not going to stick to whatever surface you're working on. And you roll the roller across it, and it leaves a texture. So it might leave a cobblestone texture,
Okay.
or a dirt texture, or flagstones, or that kind of thing.
So kind of like if you watch National Treasure, when they took the pipe apart and they put blood on it and then they rolled it out and it gave them a map.
Kind of like that, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's kinda
in that there was rolling and texture
Yeah.
involved. But yeah.
I love it.
But it leaves the green stuff there, and you let that sort of thin sheet of textured green stuff dry, and then you can glue it to your bases and trim around the edges.
That's super
which
cool.
is really neat.
I've been looking at the one you're grabbing right now
This
with,
one?
with the snow on the base.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. What is that?
Okay, we'll show this one. So this one is it's a giant, a slave giant that I converted for my ogre army for Warhammer. But I wanted to bring this in because the snow that's on here is a little bit different to the snow that we used on the Hellboy
Yeah, because that
minis.
looks more crystalline.
It does, yeah. What we used on the Hellboy minis was Valhalla Blizzard from GW. So we just scooped that out of the pot and applied it to the thing. This is from Secret Weapon Miniatures, who do a whole bunch of really cool resin bases. But this is a mix of realistic water, which is
Like a gel?
it's a very, very thick, viscous
Yeah.
kind of thing. and crushed glass.
What?
Yeah.
Did you? Is that a mixture of your own making?
No. This
okay.
is something you can purchase from Secret Weapon Miniatures.
Okay.
They have their own pots of crushed glass.
Wow.
And so it's ground down really fine.
Okay.
And but it gives that sparkle. I don't know if you can quite see can't quite see it.
I mean, it really looks like ice crystals.
Yeah. And the cool thing with that is you can, if you want it to be sort of fairly thin and as if the snow is really melting a lot, you just mix in more realistic water, and it sort of slumps a lot more.
Okay.
But if you put more of the glass in, it's like a more solid, sturdy sort of finish, and yeah, you get a very
And what's on
cool
its
sort of look.
back?
Oh, on its back up there. That's a little knobbler, is what they are.
Huh.
So he's pointing out, like,
Okay.
go that way. And down the bottom, there's another grot who's dragging along a collar that he's trying to put onto the slave giant.
That is awesome.
So, but yeah, lots of other pieces sort of added there.
And did this miniature come like this, or did you modify it to look like this?
I converted this one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Normally they're standing up.
Stalls.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they got like might have a big. This part comes with the kit.
Okay.
That's the sort of piece of masonry.
Right. Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's quite a few conversions that I've done on this one.
Yeah, I love it.
Because basically, I was telling Leona earlier, the ogres, they have giants in their army, but they go and beat them up, basically, to subdue them
Right.
and dominate them and bring them into their army as slave giants. So this one's got like cuts and bruises and that kind of thing all over him. And the ogres have claimed him by hammering
Their brand.
chunks of iron into his
Jesus.
belly.
Ugh.
But yeah, so
Love
that's
it.
cool. Stones on bases. I brought along just a couple of bits of slate,
Okay.
which is great for basing material. Slate, or if it's a little bit softer, it's going to be probably shale.
Okay.
But yeah, very cool, because you can put it on there, you get a cool stone texture, and you can actually drill into this as well
Okay.
to pin your models to it.
Well, I've seen some of the individuals in the group have taken like a WizKid miniature, and taken it off its base, and then built up some cool slate or shale stuff, and it just looks amazing.
Yep. It just it adds an extra sense of realism. The great thing about these is that there's no real, because the granularity in it is very fine. There's no real sense of scale
Right.
to it. So yeah, it just works really well.
I love it.
You can do that. Another thing you can use, I didn't bring any, but you can use cork as well. So you can
Okay.
build up layers of cork and crumble it off
Right.
to get some extra texture around the sides, that sort of thing. And you can just get that from like Office Depot, buy a cork board, take the frame off it, and cut out those cut your sections from the sheet of cork.
Nice.
Yep.
So we've got all your base are belong to us.
They are indeed. I'm
Cat-
still going. It's like this. The table must be like way. Like it's a huge table off to the
Right.
side here. There isn't.
Cat says only Dave would be concerned if it was a modern newspaper or a Victorian newspaper.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where I had to make it look a little bit modern, because that's what people are going to key in on that. They're going to go,
Right.
oh, it's a newspaper. Otherwise, they'll just go, is that a page from a book?
Right.
Which is much more Victorian.
Right.
Look more
Pete Shirley's watching. Hey, Dave and Rick, looking good, fellas. Hope to see you at Gamma next week. I will be there.
He will be there. I will not.
Right.
You'll have to just look at me instead.
Yeah.
Here.
And we will.
So this one here, I have a rock on the base.
Okay.
But this rock actually isn't an actual rock. It isn't a piece of slate. A buddy of mine, Chris, does a bit of sculpting and casting, that sort
Okay.
of thing. And he's cast pieces of slate. He has a mold.
Okay.
So basically, if he's mixed up a little bit too much resin,
All right.
he has that the mold sitting to the side there, he can just pour it in, and at the end he's got a piece of stuff, something you can put on the base. So it's definitely cool. And this one I used Martian Iron Earth for the rest of the texture, there, which is one of the GW technical paints.
Nice.
Plus some, I think if we can, there we go. I can't quite see it there. We need a light from behind is what we need.
You do, it's right there.
We need a better light from
Yeah,
behind.
Oh,
Yeah, there's an idea. Let's try that.
over here on the, Carl says, I don't like basing, but basing can make or break a mini. It's a necessary evil.
Oh yeah, very definitely.
James says, I've lost the joy of basing. It's the worst part for me.
Oh, boo.
Carl says, basing is greater than assembly. Mini Painting Studio says, very cool sculpt. One series, fortunately, James, there's a ton of resources for getting pre-made bases. You can simply dry brush and be done with them.
Yep.
I'm a fan of plain black base personally. Shows off the paint job or a clean goblin green top.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on the spinner there. We've got the Warhound from Adeptus Titanicus. The thing I was going to point out is you can see the dust up on the legs
Yeah.
of that. So I brought along some of the terracotta earth pigment that I use. There's quite a few companies that do pigments. You can actually make your own pigments as well. You get some artist pastels,
Okay.
that sort of thing, and grind them down on some sandpaper,
All right.
which is essentially all they are. But
That's what you used when we did those Steve Jackson games.
Ogre.
Ogre,
Yeah,
right.
way back in the
Yeah,
yeah,
in
some
the
of the
beginnings.
first stuff. Some
Yeah.
of the first stuff that I did with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely to
So that rust appeal.
yeah. It kind of so what it does in the case of the mini on the spinner here is that it ties the colors on the base to
The mini.
the mini. So you know that this guy has been striding through across this sort of red earth for
Nice.
a while. So there's that kind of thing. This is
And that thing looks sick.
it's the base that helps, just because the rest of it's just black and white and gold.
It looks really cool.
The next one I'm going to point out is one I did ages ago, but it's a rock that serves a purpose on the base.
Okay.
So this is one I did for, I converted a, oh, it's a little bit too, oh, it's too heavy. It's not going to spin.
There we go.
There we go. Okay, so I converted this guy for a,
What the
let's get
heck?
this out of the way. For a Warhammer army, Cathay Warhammer army. So Games Workshop's never actually made a Cathay army, but I wanted to. My army is very much based on the movie Hero.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
so good.
Yeah, fantastic movie. Is that
That was
Jet Li?
Jet Li. Well, it also had
Is it Michelle Yeoh? No, she was in.
the girl from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is
Yeah.
in it, and then Danny.
Yo.
Danny Yu, the one from
Yep.
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Yep.
Yeah.
From Rogue One.
Yeah.
But so this one here, this model up the top is all metal. Well, almost all metal. But the horse definitely is. So it used to be
It's like a Chiron.
it was a unicorn, yeah, that I converted into a Chiron, added lots of little fiery bits. But to keep it weighted, that's an actual rock down the bottom.
What?
And the post here, to give it that sort of additional oriental sort of flavor, is plasticard.
Really?
It's made from layers and layers of plasticard built up and then scored to look like wood and
Wow.
that sort of thing. So, and the little tabs that are on it are kind of something that I put across the whole army to give it this particular kind of feel that it has to it. But here the rock is important because if it wasn't there, the whole thing would topple over on a regular basis.
Just because of how heavy the top part of that is.
Yep.
And are you just pinned into the?
It's just pinned into the plasticard. Yep.
All right.
There was an amusing time when I had this on display at a store, and somebody was taking something else out of the case and knocked this out onto the floor, and it shattered into like all of its components.
Oh no.
And yeah, we looked for like 6 months and couldn't find the shield, so I had to build a new one.
Oh man.
And then when they moved the cabinet like a year later, there was the shield.
So where's this on display usually?
Oh no, that was ages ago.
Oh,
It was
okay.
like 10 years ago, longer. But yeah, so.
Ross says, Dave, is there any GW game you don't play?
There's a lot that I don't play regularly. I think I've played almost all of them. But
I feel like it's that paradox that we all get into is because we love miniatures so much that, you know, we don't ever get to paint all our miniatures, and because there's so many games that involve our fandoms, we don't get to play all the games.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
It's Von Strock says, hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going? Good.
And Jack said he just finished Loath.
Excellent.
Byron says, oh, dang, Dave, you win. Yeah.
But I just wanted to bring those in. There are two that I haven't shown. Should I show those?
Well, that big one over there.
Sorry. Yep. Let's show this one. I won't put this on the spinner. I'll just put it in the middle here. But actually, I will put it on the spinner, but not let it spin. So this one's a Valkyrie from Warhammer 40,000.
Okay.
But the stones on the base are actual slate. Yeah.
Sweet. Okay.
So again, that gives weight to the base and helps prevent the sort of getting that wobble kind of feel to it. So.
No, it's awesome.
And it also helps connect it with a whole bunch of other bases in this particular army.
Okay.
So.
And is this a Space Marine vehicle?
No, this is an Imperial Guard vehicle,
Okay.
Astra Militarum vehicle.
Nice.
And this, these wings on there are a decal.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So you're looking, you go, oh, well, that'd be a lot easier than painting it, but.
No, I've seen decals.
Yeah.
And they're very difficult.
This one's super fiddly because it's got a lot of panel lines. All the panel lines are cut, kind of thing. So, yeah,
Oh, heck no.
it's there's a lot of work on that, but that's so that's cool. So with that, and the
What's up,
last
Patrick?
one. So these guys are Imperial Guard as well, but this is the idea of putting a little bit of scenery on your base to basically put them in a context to.
To the environment that they're.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we've got the.
Those freaking helmets. It's like they took the British Royal Guard helmet and
Right. Yep.
made it almost a little comical.
Yep.
Because that's a space helmet, isn't it?
Yeah, these are space guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's funny.
They're very Napoleonic in their feel.
Yes.
So late 18th, early 19th century.
That's super cool.
But, yep. And the I can't remember where the barbed wire comes from, but this is designed for something completely different.
A totally different game?
No,
Or
it's
just
a totally different purpose.
like maybe for like a train?
Oh no, it's not. It's not made for a modeling purpose. It's
Oh.
made for a some form of like some completely different industry, nothing to do with
Like
craft
maybe,
or
maybe
hobby
like
or anything.
watches. Like a wire that you would wind on a spool. I don't know.
I don't think so. But
Either way, it's
yeah.
wild.
But it works really well as razor wire.
Do you remember where you even got it?
Games Workshop put it out at some point, but I think Gale Force 9 have done some as well.
Okay.
But yeah, there are a lot of, well, not a lot, but there are a couple of companies that have done use that particular product.
Nice.
So, but yeah, so there we go. I'll take that off there. While we were chatting, I grabbed out some green stuff
Okay.
to.
Are you going to sculpt something?
No. I thought I'd mix it up for you.
Okay.
And so what you can do, I mean, you've trimmed off lots of skulls there. And you're still sort of trimming them up. But if you wanted to do a mound of skulls in front of this guy, and you didn't want to use all of those skulls,
Right.
you can put a little mound of green stuff there first, which is going to form your sort of the bulk of
The pile.
the pile in there.
Show it on the,
Oh,
what you're doing on the.
on the close cam? Yep, sure thing. Ooh, there we go. So, yeah, I just put down a piece of a mixed piece of green stuff there. And my tool, a little bit of water. Just pushing it around there like that.
Okay. You want some?
Actually, what I need to do first is
Use the paper towel?
paper towel. Yep. Actually, should be okay. Oh, no, there you go. Great. So I'm going to take a piece of paper towel and just sop up some of that moisture because it will help for these skulls. You got some there?
Yep.
These ones
Yep, those are all
clean?
clean enough.
Clean enough? Cool. Rick clean?
Yep, they are Rick clean.
Okay. So then I can start pushing those in there. When you first mix up the green stuff, it's probably got about sort of 10 minutes where it's nice and tacky.
Okay.
So these will sit in there
Tacky like a dad
just
joke.
like that. Yep.
You have a question about the blush colors?
Oh, okay. Yep. Hi guys, great work. What color flesh was used on the Hate Mini? So are we talking about this one that I've got in my hand? I think you used...
I did red wash, and I haven't highlighted it yet.
Okay,
with
so...
the actual flesh tone.
So on here we used red tone first over white from red tone from the Army Painter, and then did you do you did a strong tone over the whole lot of it?
Great.
Oh, okay. And on this guy, it was again red tone from the Army Painter over a white base coat, and then highlighted with Rin Flesh, which is a paint from Privateer Press from the P3 range.
Okay.
And then that was highlighted by mixing in a little bit of ivory, Vallejo model color ivory, to get that sort of pale kind of look there. Oh, sorry. There we go. Even like that.
I also like how the hair, the white hair that you did there.
Right.
That it
Yep.
just pops.
Yeah. Well, he's got. That's about framing. They knew that all of everything around here was going to be dark.
Right.
So the dark metal, the dark fur,
Right.
that kind of thing. So it's all forming all this dark sort of color around him. Putting that white in there really gives that pop.
But when you look at the miniature, one of the things
Yep.
I was like really taken in was like on the back here, and you have like it looks like, did you put like a gray over it a little bit just to give it a little or
Yep.
a little
So I
more depth?
went back and painted his hair grey first, and then highlighted with white.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, definitely to give him that little sort of aged kind of look.
And it's kind of funny is last week I went to down here to Titan.
Yep.
And I picked up picked up some new brushes for my house.
Okay.
Because I was painting some minis this weekend,
Cool.
and I picked up some of that earth.
Agrax Earthshade.
Agrax Earthshade. Because I just love the effect of that.
Nice.
It's so nice.
Yep, that is cool. Now we're looking at the unfinished base on the spinner there. Not sure what we'll do with him.
Many options.
Yep. We were talking before, and Leona suggested that I replace all of the chain links with skulls.
More skulls.
More skulls. Okay. What I'm going to do here, so I've got that first sort of layer around the base there. I'm going to get some super glue and just pop a few dots around on the green stuff there, just because I'm starting to lose a little bit of the tackiness there.
Okay.
And
This would be a good
slide
opportunity
these
to
in.
use tweezers.
it would be perfect. But guess who forgot to bring his tweezers?
Me?
Me. Do you have tweezers?
At home?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
I've got those yellow ones that when you squeeze them, it opens up instead of
Oh, okay, right. Yeah.
they're really good.
You guys want to look at some of these?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Just because we're just going to be cleaning skulls and sticking them on a base.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. So if we can check out some of the minis that people have been posting in the Painting Happy Little Minis Facebook group over the weekend.
Yeah. And that's a good opportunity for us to say, if you haven't yet joined our Painting Happy Little Minis Facebook group, please do so. Go over there and request. We'll add you in, and you can start showing off all the cool miniatures that you're working on and completing.
Cool. Jack Hardy's, this is his Reaper Orc. Were you painting this last week during the Thursday stream, Jack? Was that Leona?
Yeah, he did.
He did?
He had
Cool.
posted it.
Yep. Very cool.
Jack, just a little bit of advice. Take the labels off your medication, bro.
Yeah. Cover them up.
But it looks amazing. Teddy Zartler, the Marsh Troll. I've painted this miniature.
Yeah?
Like back when I first started doing the show.
Right.
This is one of the ones I did.
One of the first ones? Cool.
His looks way better than mine did.
Nice work, Teddy.
Yeah.
That was good.
Robert
Sakaluck.
What
Okay.
is that?
So on the left is a kind of little console station that 3D printed.
Okay.
On the right, I'm really not sure. I do
Whatever-
remember seeing it in the group.
Didn't say.
Whatever that is on the right is scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been doing a lot of Fallout stuff for Fallout Wasteland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fallout Wasteland Warfare. That's it. So my guess is it's from
Am I following that?
that.
Okay. Nick with Jin Urso and 2 squads of Rebel Pathfinders for Star Wars Legion.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, those
Saw
are
those.
great.
Saw those. Pics of those starting to float around the Rebel Pathfinders, and you've done a really nice job there, Nick.
I like the color-coded basings to represent the different
squads. Yep.
Yeah, it's nice.
That makes it a lot easier on the tabletop for sure. Good
Michael
job.
Bruce and his troll creature.
Yep.
Scary.
That is wild.
Yeah. I don't know what company this is from, but
You need to let us know, Mike.
it's wild.
5 mils.
What is that?
It's a knight. A knight mini. I don't know where that's from.
Me neither.
I'm going to guess it's an older mini,
You know,
but it's got like a gargoyle crest on top of the knight's helmet. That looks really cool.
I'd like obviously it's the blue on his tabard is really well pronounced too, separate
Yep.
from the. I like it.
Yep. Cool thing. Jordan Basinski.
I love these.
Yeah.
The Noontide Malisons from WizKids. These are so good, and I love how he did like the Diamondback effect on the
Yep.
one on the right.
The gray one.
Gray one, yeah.
Yep.
And
Nice job.
the add-in of the D20
Right. Awesome.
choice.
Good job. Ross Bonilla.
With the Blood Warriors.
Yeah. Very
That
cool.
skull face in the front there is just.
Yeah.
Ah.
My favorite thing actually is the mouth in the chest.
Oh,
Chest
okay.
armor.
Yeah.
And it's just got that black cavity behind it. So you don't know if it's a mouth or
It's a
empty
negative
armor or
space.
it's just some kind of crazy negative space. So, but no, I also really like the jawbone on the axe.
Mm-hmm.
Is super cool.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Nice
beautiful-
work, Ross.
Yeah. Nate Webster.
Painting up some more of his ghouls.
Okay.
But these ones, he's done some extra work on these and removed the eyes and the arms to make them look super, super, super creepy.
Not that they weren't already creepy before.
Yep. They were
Nice.
wonderfully
Good
creepy
job, Nate.
before.
And then
Yep.
Josh Potter with his dwarf berserks.
Right, yep.
These are really good.
I
These look like older miniatures. They don't look like they're not WizKids. So I'm wondering what brand these are. They almost have that old Ral Partha look.
How do you have that feel? I really like the guy on the right.
Mm-hmm.
The hair color just works really well.
Absolutely.
For the rest of it. Good choice.
Jason Sutton, and these are Twig Blights
Right.
from WizKids, I believe.
The one on the right there looks like a swamp thing.
It does look like a swamp
Yeah.
thing. A little more swampy like gooey version.
swampy,
Yeah, over the dried out husky looking one on the left.
Yep.
Yeah. Twig blights don't always have to be,
This is true.
yeah, like the left one. So Enrique Losada was showing different effects
Oh yeah, this is amazing.
and how they did. Yeah, I was floored
Yep.
because they look so good.
Yep. Looks awesome. I think I'm not sure if Enrique had mentioned exactly what that paint is, but but I don't know whether it's a mix that he used like a regular acrylic crackle medium,
Right.
or if it was one of the GW technical paints.
Okay.
Kind of, it's the same approach as I used for the that Titan
Right.
with that Martian iron earth, but obviously the cracks are the pieces are much larger, and it works brilliantly as lava there.
Absolutely. Enrique, if you do catch this, or if you're watching in the group, please let us know what the paints were used.
Yep. You may have already done that, and I just didn't look because I'm terrible. But it looks fantastic. Josh is painting this.
Is that a drone?
I have no idea. I have no idea what it is.
What is this, Josh? And it looks like he was doing some airbrush on there.
Yep. Yep. No doubt.
Yeah, but I do not know what this is from.
The last
Chris,
one.
Chris Gorka and his wizards.
Yep. These are from Gale Force 9, I think.
They are from Gale Force 9,
Yep.
and they are beautiful.
Yep.
I'm wondering, Chris, did you pick these up at PAX Unplugged last year? Because I felt like these were available for the first time there. One Ichiro says it's the Swordfish 2 from Cowboy Bebop. That's what that thing was. That,
Oh, the plane.
The plane, yeah.
Okay.
Drew also said those dwarves could be Marauder Minis, Grenadier, or Ralpartha. Yeah,
Possibly Grenadier. I don't think they were Marauder, but yeah.
They all looked amazing.
Yep.
Everybody's work, and that's one of the things, if you are just now tuning in, this is your first time watching Painting Happy Minis, we like to show off the amazing talent of all the painters and crafters and sculptors that hang out in our Facebook group.
Yep.
So if you would be interested, go over there, join the group, become part of the community that we're trying to build that is all about the positive approach of encouraging others to join our hobby and build your toolbox from all the cool talent that's there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris Gorka, man, Jesus. Yeah, those wizards are beautiful.
So while we were looking at all of those,
Yes.
dun dun dun, I'm gonna put this on the close cam. There we go. I was able to create this pile of skulls from all the ones that you'd, not all of the ones, half of the ones that you'd tidied up.
They look so good.
So, yeah.
I don't think it needs any more than that.
No,
It's
that's
kind of like, this is my offering to my
God,
my
yeah,
leader,
to the tyrant.
to the tyrant.
Yep. All of these will now be drilled. There'll be a big hole drilled through the metal so that you can string them on a chain
Yes.
and wear them as a skirt. So yeah, but so that worked out well.
Yeah. Now, one of my questions I would ask is,
Yep.
because we based and worked on this post paint job on the miniature,
Yep.
and these obviously have not been primed.
Yep.
There is paint like that you can brush prime on, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yep.
So that would probably be because the base itself has already been primed, but that would probably be a good suggestion for that. Is it
Yeah, I think
base
so.
priming or
Yeah.
brush priming?
Yeah, definitely brush that on.
All right. I think I don't know if I have any, but I'll find some.
Well, we're not quite finished there. But if we're going to go all the way with it,
Yeah.
I'm going to show you another thing that we can do.
Okay.
Normally, for adding like dirt texture or
Okay.
ground texture, I use sand. So I've got a whole bunch of sand here that I'm spilling everywhere. I'm sorry. But you can pick this up from a lot of different places.
Like the beach.
From like the beach, if you're close to the beach.
Nice.
This particular batch is play sand.
Okay.
Like you can go to your Home Depot. So just in case you don't live near the beach,
Right.
like most people, you can drive to your nearest Home Depot or big box store or whatever, and pick up some play sand. And If you do get stuff from the beach or from your garden or wherever, spread it out over like a cookie sheet and bake it in the oven to kill off any bacteria, that kind of thing. Because if you don't do that, you might glue it down and then like a couple of months later, your whole room will smell if something rotten.
Yeah, like a dead fish or...
something. Yeah.
Or it'll just grow
dead bacteria.
Grow and animate the miniature you painted and it'll kill you.
Yes. Yeah. Not in the way that you'd like, though.
Right. That's a horror movie.
It's totally a horror movie. But yeah, so I just have this little container that I keep for play sand, which is nice and easy to use. Normally, I just use like PVA glue. In this case, Elmer's school glue.
Elmer's school glue.
Because in August, you can pick it up for like 40.
Not yet. No. Leon said, not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor, no. Sorry, there we go. Use school glue. Could be from anybody. I don't know. But you can pick these up for like 49 cents.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Whatever. But I would normally squeeze some of that out, paint that over, get an old paintbrush and paint it over the base.
Okay. So
Then let it dry.
Here we go.
But because we've only got...
Minutes?
We've got 13 minutes. It's not going to dry in 13 minutes.
Right.
So I'll do that on this model. I'll apply it for this model. But for this one, also because we've got the green stuff is drying and we've got some other glue bits and pieces in there.
Right.
What I'm actually going to do is use some glue.
Okay.
Some super glue. I'll come back to that. So just quickly use some super glue here. A lot of folks I know use the little tiny tubes of super glue that's a little bit thinner than this.
Okay.
Not super thin, but just thinner than this. But again, it's sort of cheap and quick.
Okay.
But the best part about using super glue for this, not using this super glue is a bit more expensive, but the best part is that the sand will very definitely stick to the base.
Right, I'm just laughing at the altar troll says, "Hi, too much elbow space. I missed someone."
Yeah, Mia had a migraine today, so
Yeah.
to make sure she went home to take care of that.
Yeah.
So there we go. I'm just running that around over the base. It's not. I haven't got super coverage there, but just dip that in the sand, shake it around. I don't know if you can see where I missed it, so I can come back and pop some super glue in there. Adding extra sort of dabs here and there is going to increase the texture. One of the reasons I like the play sand as well is that there is a variety of textures in there, variety of sizes and grains. But so there we go. You can see it's left the skulls with a bit of a dusting.
Yeah.
We just let that super glue dry, and you can get a big brush and dust that.
Okay.
Dust that off.
Cool.
So I'll hand that back over.
Thank you.
And yeah, we got
This guy.
Yeah.
He looks great.
He does. One of the things you can do as well, now that you've got all that texture on there, is, I guess we can talk about that on Thursday.
Okay.
Because I also brought in like a huge box of other basing materials that we can look at. But what do you call it? The Army Painter do a whole bunch of tufts,
Right.
which are cool. We've used those before. I think we used those on some of the
Star Wars.
Star Wars things. Yep. If you're not sort of worried about the amount of texture that you have on your base, if you just want a little bit of something that kind of represents a sandy texture, things like the Sterland Mud and Sterland Battlemire are technical paints from Games Workshop.
Okay.
And they, just reaching down to grab an old brush. We've used those on the Song of Ice and Fire minis. There are other ones you can just paint on, and they're already pre-colored, sort of thing. So you can just do a quick dry brush up over them.
Nice.
But they don't have the same sort of level of texture that sort of taking this approach can give you.
Okay.
But yeah, this is how I normally do it. Just use the PVA glue to
That looks.
run around.
So I have the Army Painter, the green glue, the PVA glue that they
All right. Yep.
at the house, and so I'm painting up miniatures right now. So I'm doing some pack mules, the Remoraz that you've
Yep.
painted. I'm painting mine,
Cool.
and I've started on the Frost Giant finally.
Right.
And I want to do some really good basing on those because I'm going to use those in the one-shot.
All right.
adventures.
Cool. Excellent.
Ted Tunnel says, "Howdy guys, I've got some Alpha Strike minis that he's been thinking about painting. You should absolutely paint them.
Yep.
I'm not familiar with Alpha Strike, but it sounds cool." Victor says, "Little fact about Star Wars planet Tatooine is a beach planet and not a desert planet." Little known fact.
Just nobody ever goes to the sea.
Right? They never take you to the beach.
Yeah. Maybe it's just like it's just a really small ocean, more like a puddle somewhere, like
Right.
millions of miles away. I
Correct.
don't know if you saw that little
Yeah.
puff of
Poof.
puff of dust. So yeah, that's what I usually do there. And then once that dries, particularly if you're going to be doing it for miniatures that are going to be used a lot, I'll go back once the PVA glue is dry. I used to go back and basically put a really thin down layer of PVA over the top
Okay.
because it would hold it in.
Conceal it.
Because normally what's happening there is all of the, try a little analogy with these bases. If my hand is the PVA glue, it's kind of holding all of the sand particles in like this,
Okay.
between like next to the base.
Right.
When you come along and dry brush that afterwards, sometimes they'll fall out,
Right.
and you don't want that. So a thin layer of PVA over the top can sort of help
Seal it.
seal it. But somebody else pointed out to me, if you use something like the super thin Bob Smith Industries glue or any other super glue that's super thin, you can do the same thing. You run this over the top,
Right.
and because it's super glue, it dries
Faster.
much more hard.
Yeah,
much
harder.
Much harder, and you'll find there are little bits and pieces where it will get through the PVA glue, or you might not have put enough sort of in that particular area, so it'll get a better grip against the base.
Okay.
So the ultimate version of that, of course, would be use super glue to attach the sand to the base, and then a thin layer of super glue over the top of that
Right.
will make it rock hard.
Right, but that also is
Yeah.
pricey.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit of column A, column B.
Right.
But yeah, you'll get something that's very, very sturdy there.
One Ichiro says, use Italian seasoning for loose leaf litter and debris, plus your mini
Yep,
case will smell delicious.
it will. That's a good idea.
Little basil.
Yep, some oregano,
Yeah, perfect.
or is it, how's it pronounced here in this country?
Oregano.
Oregano.
That's how
Okay,
I think
great.
it's pronounced.
Okay.
But I'm probably wrong.
Yeah, that means that in Australia, in my native land, it's pronounced oregano.
I was gonna say, the British say oregano.
Yeah. So the Australians, much like origami.
Victor says, I've reached my court-ordered limit on bad jokes today. Okay.
Oh.
That's okay, man. So,
He said, like, Victor said that he has reached his limit. You haven't.
oh,
You can keep going.
perfect. Everybody's going to love that.
Yep. So
Thursday,
Thursday. Yep.
when we come back, I'll have this brush primed
Yep.
and work on that. I'll bring in some more tufts too, because I have all those ones from
Okay.
before.
Sure.
Because I had ordered a bunch of them.
Yep.
And I figured maybe work on another one.
Bases look like on the close,
Yeah.
Oh, yep. There we go.
just so we can see.
Okay. Oh, on the close cam or the spinner?
Sorry, I meant the spinner.
Yep. Okay. And
Like, it
So
makes
that's
me
just
feel like I want to call up some friends that live in Pensacola, Florida, to go to Fort Walton Beach
Right.
or the Perdido Key.
Yeah.
Right there, which is a beach. The sand is so fine that when you kick it, it whistles. It's like, send me a little container of that sand.
My my friend Becky Alexander, who runs the game shop out in Nebraska. Ooh.
The X-Men are calling me.
She collects dirt from around the world.
Does she really?
Yeah, yeah.
All
A whole
right.
bunch of different countries. She's got, I think she's like over 100 different countries now, and
Does she keep them like little vials and
yeah,
labeled
yeah,
out? That's
yep.
kind of neat.
And I think pretty sure she's got all 50 states and
Okay.
all like 12 provinces.
I was
however
going to say,
many
does she use them for
provinces there are.
basing? Like, I'm only going to use Michigan dirt from the Tequamanon Falls.
That's not, well, it's not my favorite dirt on the earth.
Yeah, Michigan dirt's not that good.
Well, it's still pretty good. It's great for like graves and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
it's way better than Ohio dirt.
For sure. Let's not talk about Ohio dirt. That stuff's radioactive.
Right?
But yeah, so
Jason says, love your stuff, guys. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Jason. Carl says, game shop in Nebraska, do tell.
oh, yep,
Who's talking about that?
me.
Were you?
Yeah,
I missed it.
you weren't paying attention, were you? That's where Becky's from. Like Becky.
Oh,
runs
she's
that.
from Nebraska.
Well, she's not from Nebraska, but she's living in Nebraska and working in Nebraska. I don't know.
It's like you saying you're not from Baltimore.
No. I'm
Jack says, Georgia dirt is terrible. I agree. Yeah, Georgia dirt is terrible.
What I'd love to have is some red dust from the Australian outback
Yeah,
to
that'd be
put
cool.
on all of my.
Can't you just call up a relative or something? And have them send you a little bit?
You can't just send somebody out into the outback.
Why not?
They might not come back. If you want to do it, you got to do it yourself.
Wow, no.
Yep.
No, I don't need no dart frog taking me out.
There's no dart frogs in the outback. It's just relentless heat and no
Really?
water.
There's no dart frogs in the
No.
outback? I mean, I watched the Kulapari Army of Frogs, which takes place in Australia, and they're all dart frogs.
It's in Australia. It's not in the outback.
Oh. Okay. Geology.
Yep. All of the outback is in Australia, but not all of Australia is in the outback.
That makes no sense to me. It's like, leave your science at
It's
the
like
door,
hot
sir.
tubs and jacuzzis. But yes,
All right.
there we go.
Oklahoma red dirt.
Oklahoma red dirt.
That'd be kind of cool, too.
Okay,
Yeah.
check some of that.
Great. All right, everybody. We're out for today. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been Painting Happy Little Minis. I'm Rick,
I'm Dave.
and we'll see you at the game store, or at a convention, or maybe at a show.
That's convention.
Thanks for watching Painting Happy Little Minis. If you liked it, leave a like and a comment below, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new content.